I love the lock and shop option. I think that's great. I think that gives peace of mind to people who are out there looking, and I think it could potentially even save somebody an awful lot of money. But I do feel like you're holding out on this because you keep teasing a second opportunity, and you haven't spoke of it. And I think it's about time to give up the goods. Let's. What is this other opportunity?
Yeah, for sure. You know, hey, we gotta get them engaged somehow. But you know, this one here, I think this is just one of those psychological things that we all have this. We don't want to miss out on something, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we do. We just have that. We're just kind of wired that way. We want to be involved, and I mean, we're talking to hundreds and hundreds of potential buyers each and every month, every single month. And the number one thing we're hearing, by far, is we want to wait and see if the interest rates drop. We want to wait and see what happens. And what they're really saying is we don't want to do something stupid. We don't want our friends to make fun of us, you know, because everybody's got an opinion, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just get on one of the social platforms if you don't, you know.
what do they call that these days? FOMO, fear of missing out, I believe.
That's right. That's it.
FOMO.
Yes,
There's even a word for it now.
There's even a word. So, all right. So I've got great news. You do not have to wait any longer. You can if you choose. This is a choice. You don't have to. And this is what we've got to offer. You can go ahead and we'll use the same example. We'll just say, go ahead and buy a home today. And let's just say that rate is at that 7%, just like our previous example. Now, you bought the house. You're excited about the house. You're living your best life. But in 2 years, the rates go to 5%. And here it comes. I told you should have waited. I knew I should have waited.
See,
you know, your friends are like, see, I told you should have waited. I knew interest rates are going to go down because I have the perfect magic 8-ball, and you're dumb. You bought at 7% 2 years ago, and I get a 5% rate, all that, right? Because we just love to rub those things in our in our coworkers and friends' face sometimes. So you're like, well, no big deal. I can refinance. It's going to cost me thousands of dollars to do that, but I'll get the lower rate, but there's that cost. Well, here's what we've worked out. When you buy a home with our company and you use our lending source, if the rate drops by more than 1% in the first 5 years that you own the house, we'll refinance the house for free.
Nice.
No bank or mortgage cost. It's all waived, including the appraisal, should you have to have one on the property to refinance it. So, and yes, you did hear me correctly. That wasn't 5 weeks. That wasn't 5 months. That was 5 years from the time that you own the house. So you bought the house today because you wanted to move on with your life. You didn't like the interest rate, but you also didn't want to sit here and pay 100% interest, we call that rent, for the next 5 years of waiting and hoping and seeing if the interest rate was actually going to drop. And you kind of were hesitant because you feel like they were going to drop, and then you're like, well, it's just going to cost me more money to refinance the house down the road. So I just sit here and wait, and before you know it, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years go by. You're still renting a house. You're not, the thing with renting a home for most people is it's a temporary state,
mm-hmm.
and it's hard to when you know it's temporary. Everything becomes temporary, right? And so the relationships that you're making are probably temporary because you're going to move. Or maybe you're not even making them at all with your neighbors, or maybe it's an apartment complex or a house or whatever it is. There's just something about owning a home, getting settled in. If you have children, I think they know that feeling of permanence, that it's their home. I mean, I've sell a lot of homes after the kids leave the nest, if you will, Keith.
Mm-hmm.
Man, it's amazing. Some of these kids take that stuff personally. They're like, I cannot believe you're selling my house. or heaven forbid, you convert their bedroom into something that you want to use it for.
They literally could not wait to get out of the house. They chose a college as far away from you as possible. They literally were just could not wait, and now they're freaked out that their bedroom is a den or the house is gone. Really?
Yes, yeah, absolutely. I mean, yeah, you turned their bedroom into your professional office or a weight room or a sewing room or whatever, and they just absolutely cannot even believe that you would do such a thing. How dare you change their room in the house that you paid for, right?
It's their house. Come on, Jason.
That's right. So excellent two options for you out here, the folks that may be on the fence and not wanting to make that financial mistake of buying a home at a higher interest rate and then having the additional expense of refinancing. Well, guess what? When you get in touch with our company and you deal with our agents and our team and through our lending sources, that is taken care of for you for the next 5 years. So if that happens, if by chance that rate drops by more than 1% in that 60 months, in that 5 years, then all of the mortgage costs will be waived to refinance that. You'll simply just show up, sign paperwork, and have a brand new payment with a brand new rate. Pretty cool deal. So, and don't forget about our lock-in shop option, which is unique. It is, I can tell you, I've been doing this 25 years. Very, very, very few, if any, companies out here offer this type of program. So if in the next 90 days we get you locked in, if the rates go down, you float down with it. If the rates go up, you're locked in at the lower rate. It is a win-win deal for at least 90 days. So lots of good stuff happening in the, coming into the spring market. Prices are down a little bit. Owners are being a little more eager to listen. So I think 2023 is probably going to be one of the best spring markets and years to buy a home. Certainly better than it's been for the last about 30 months, for sure, because it has been rough out there for home buyers.